So today I'm going to show you guys the solution for the two-sum algo problem. So given an array of integers, return indices of the two numbers such that they add up to a specific target. And in the example, we have this list. 2 and 7 add up to 9, so it's going to return indexes 0 and 1. You may also assume that each input would have exactly one solution, and you may not use the same element twice. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to define a function. We're going to call it twosum. And that is going to take an array of numbers, and it's going to take a target number. Alright, now since we can assume that each input has one solution, then we don't have to do a lot of error checking. So what we're going to do is, since it wants us to return what looks like an array of indices, I'm going to start out by initializing a local array within the function, and I'm going to set it equal to an empty array. And this is going to be the array that's going to get returned later on. And what we want to do is just populate this with the indices that we need. So to start off, I'm going to use a traditional for loop, and the reasoning for doing that over using a for in or a for of is because we want to use I, and we want to use these numbers to populate the array. So we're going to keep it like this, and we're going to loop till the end of the array. Alright, so now we have our original loop set up that's just looping through every number. And so in order to compare our given I to every number, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another loop. And I'm going to set, we'll say let j equal to I plus 1. So this next loop is going to be looping through all the other numbers besides the one that we're currently on I. So it's going to compare those two. So while j is less than also array.length, we're looping through the same array, and we're going to increment it. And then we just need an if statement to check. So we just want to say if the array at position I plus the array at position j is equal to our target, then we want to push those to our local array. We're going to push I, and then we're going to push j. Alright, so if you look at the for loops, the first time we go through, I is equal to 0, and then j is going to be equal to I plus 1, so it's going to start off at 1, and then it's going to go to the end. So the first time we loop through this main loop, I is 0, and j is going to be an array of values. It's going to be a number of values. We're going to compare that number to all the rest of the ones it's going to check. So starting off, it's 2. And we're going to compare 2 to 7. And then we're going to compare it to 11. Then we're going to compare it to 15. And if the sums are equal to our target, then we're going to push the indexes, not the array, not the item itself, but just the index to that array. And then we're going to return it. So in order to test this out, let's create an example array. And we're going to just set it equal to the original. Now we're going to call that function twosum. We're going to pass it our example array. and we're going to pass it our target value. And then this is going to return something, so we're going to set it equal to our result, and then we're going to console log it. And we get 0 and 1. If we were to test out something else, let's say for example 7 and 15 make 22. We should get 1 and 3, and we do.